like telling me that I am responsible for Natalie Bollinger's death over and over and over and over and over. A lot of people are responsible for Natalie Bollinger's death. Leslie Snell, let me tell you about her. Is she one of the people responsible for Natalie Bollinger's death? No, she is not. Scott DaCosta is, and so are all of his deputies. All of them. They were complacent in their duty, neglectful in their charge. People like William Barr saying, in the name of God, in the name of Jesus. See, that's the thing. People wanted to give unsolicited advice. Everyone did this. I didn't need advice. I needed help. I needed help showing the truth. Before Natalie was killed, I needed help stopping the abuse. But instead, it's compounded. Ted Bollinger is responsible for Natalie's death. He shouldn't have raped his own daughter. Someone calling themselves Jason from Guitar Center type high. He's got what looks to be some sort of a badge or a snake maybe, I don't know. As his picture. Anyway, when it comes to being responsible for Natalie's death, a lot of people are. The only thing in any of what I did that would make me responsible for Natalie's death is the fact that I couldn't get heard. Someone calling themselves Crim Ho type chicken nuggets. Apparently we got trolls. We know how to delete those folks, don't we? Isn't it nice that we can do that on the internet? The fact that they're so easy to get rid of is amazing. Just go to it and you click on it. And of course, you can hide user on this channel. I wasn't heard. It didn't matter who I went to. I wasn't heard. Everyone else wanted to give advice and talk over me and tell me how to think and how to feel. The whole time I'm taking abuse. I can't even get them to shut up long enough to find out what's even going on. All of you have those kind of friends. All of you do. The ones who want to discredit you before you even get started by telling you those pretty words. Oh, you just got to love yourself. Oh, yeah, is that what this is? All of this abuse is because I don't love myself? I'm in 4 of the top 5 groups as far as being victimized. I belong to 4 of them. 4 of them. The only one that I am not a part of, I'm not a kid. Children are in the top 5. I was victimized a lot as a kid. So was Natalie. So was Alicia. For me, I was primarily abused in the system. Ted Bollinger raping his own daughter until she fucking cut on herself. Over and over. Getting drunk. Beating on his daughters and fucking them. This video ain't for the faint of heart. These are things that no father should do. Then there's Rose M. Kelly, a.k.a. Rose M. Self. This is the alcoholic mother who just kept on picking abusive men over her own kids. So addicted to that abuse that she allowed those men into her lives knowing that there was protection orders against them. And still she allowed those men around her children. Crimho typed, I was sexually assaulted as a child. I understand your pain, bro. Do you speak out for the other victims? Do you lend them your voice? That's the help that I've needed from the very start. Please, someone, please, help me get Natalie Bollinger to tell the truth. Help me to get her in court. Help me to stop this abuse. Help me to call off the dogs. But nobody would listen. I couldn't get them to listen. And if I tried too hard, they got cruel and mean and evil and horrible. When they needed help, they came to me for help. All these people who wanted to tell me what a stand-up guy I was all the time. Sean, you're the only guy I trust. Sean, you're the smartest guy I know. But what ended up happening to him? We stopped being friends over the situation with Natalie and how they decided to treat me. It was pretty obvious after Natalie was dead that, yeah, it was something they should have fucking listened to from the start. So these people who wanted to tell me they were my friends, what did they do? They tell me they trust me. I told them, don't trust me, look at the evidence. Do not trust me, look at the evidence. When people told me to go to Darren O'Connor, I'd already done so. I'd been going to Darren O'Connor for years. I was trying to get video cameras and video stuff to actually record people who wanted to tell their stories, people out on the streets. How it really is. But mostly it's the idiots who are going to do that. And you got to try to pay them with a bottle of liquor. Well, I'm not willing to do that. The fact that people just expected me to take abuse, just expected me to not fight for my rights. Look how hard people fought to not have the truth shown or heard. How hard people who claim that they love me, claim that I was family, claim that they were going to help me, claim that they would look at the evidence. Look how hard they tried not to look at the evidence. I've had to move repeatedly because of abuse. And I have to be afraid to go to police. Because why? Because I was assaulted by Officer Waylon Lolotai. That is on my arrest record as me being charged with assaulting a police officer. Police have no respect. They have been trained in what to do, when to talk over you, how to talk over you, how to redirect it. When you enter into a conversation with an officer alone, as a white male who is homeless, they don't give a shit. We get it shoved in our faces about all these minorities, how we need to take a back seat because we're taking away from black people in their fight if we bring up our abuse. We're taking away from women if we bring up our abuse. No, what we're doing is we're showing that their fucking bullshit is exactly that. It's bullshit. BLM is BULLSHIT. Same thing with the Me Too movement. Natalie is dead because you won't listen to a male, white, homeless, disabled person. Each one of those gives you an excuse. Instead of acknowledging my abuse, you want to tell me about women, 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 black people, black people, black people, black people, and statistically, no. No. The top 5 groups: foster kids, former foster kids, the homeless. Yeah, that's right, the homeless. The disabled. Yeah, right there. The disabled. Number 4 is disabled. That's number 4 on the list. People who grew up in the system. That's people like me. That's people like most of us out here who are homeless. By the way, males is in the top 5, but I usually don't count it. Most places don't count it. Males are at the top of the list for being victimized on every goddamn thing. They're also at the top of the list for being convicted. They're also at the top of the list for, well, a lot of different things. A man is a lot more likely, like 6 times more likely to be convicted of stalking, depending on the area. In some places, 26-1, where a male is more likely to be convicted. You don't even have to have evidence to convict a man. I've had lawyers tell me that. I already knew this. These people try to paint me as some sort of a terrible fucking monster when I tell on them. People like Robert Franklin Mornick. People like Scott DeCosta. Where did Leslie Snell screw up? Well, when I was told by the Nebraska State Patrol yet again that I needed to turn it into Dual County, well, that's when I found out that Leslie Snell worked there. It wasn't Destiny Vote anymore. So although I was already knee-deep in shit with Scott DeCosta and trying to turn him in, I was still being forced by Nebraska State Patrol to try to turn him in to Scott DeCosta. So I had to call the Dual County Sheriff's Department. There is no police department in fucking Dual County, Nebraska. It's just the Sheriff's Department and the Nebraska State Patrol. Nebraska State Patrol fucking pussyfooted around for over 2 years about investigating Scott DeCosta. Then, of course, with the abuse that I was trying to turn in to Nebraska State Patrol, because obviously Bill Burr hadn't done shit. He's the Nebraska State Patrolman in Chapel, Nebraska that I went to. He claimed that he turned it into Nebraska State Patrol. He also spat out the names of Woods and Jones. That's Nebraska State Patrol Troop E. Jones claimed that she had called me. Now, here's the thing. She claimed that she had called me and that my voicemail hadn't been set up. Well, by the time that she had called me, my voicemail was set up. They all knew that I was being harassed by restricted numbers and that I had to change my phone number because of being harassed by restricted numbers. including Leslie Snell. Now, the first time that I spoke with her, the first thing she did is start making excuses for Scott DaCosta. No, 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 no. That is not your fucking job. Ongoing abuse by your boss that I am told that I have to turn into your fucking department. You do not get to shut down and shut off the fucking victim like that, Leslie Snell. And that's exactly what she did. And the crimes that she continued to commit for Scott DaCosta. Not just her, also Paulie Olson. They had to apportion a lot of money. Paulie Olson, by her own admission, these were her friends. All of the money that Dual County and Chapel paid to have me incarcerated, to have me locked up. 11 separate times they did this. And had to what? Drop the charges every single time. That's a little fucking excessive, don't you think? Now, where did he come from? Paulie Olson. There's also her daughter. They would have had to take city funds. Her daughter, that's, of course, not Paulie Olson, is the city clerk. These are two different people. Both of them would have had to been involved. Jared Hahn. I had to repeatedly try to turn him into Scott DaCosta. Scott DaCosta eventually, after knowing that he can't be the one that comes out to any of the shit with me because he's not going to investigate, he repeatedly sent out Jared Hahn, and then he tells me that Jared Hahn is no longer there. He's moved on to a different job with the fucking Fish and Wildlife. He still committed the crimes, but no, he didn't even leave town. Jared Hahn didn't leave town. Scott DaCosta intentionally tried to mislead the situation, as he had done from the beginning. And Nebraska State Patrol making me go to him repeatedly is not okay. There's a lot of people who are responsible for Natalie Bollingers' fucking death. I am not one of them. I tried to get help. But because I am a male, I am treated differently. Women are 11 times more likely to be stalkers than men. That's because women are taught that they can get away with it. All they got to do is shake their parts. Say, oh, I was afraid, and turn on the fucking waterworks. That gets people fucking killed. And it is against the fucking law. These are criminal acts that have been committed against me. Not civil. But every time I try to turn it in, what do I get? I get treated as if it's a civil matter. No, it is not. Taking advantage of an at-risk adult is not a fucking civil matter. It is a criminal fucking matter in every one of these situations. I am responsible for Natalie's death because nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared enough to listen. They were too busy giving advice. They were too busy telling me how to think and how to feel. Too busy talking over me. That includes the police, my friends, the the people I'm supposed to call my family. All my sister did was take my money and run. And yes, I am very bitter about that. See, that's the thing, is that because of the victimization against me, victimization that only happened because I am an at-risk adult without a fucking guardian or an actual goddamn advocate, I can't turn in the crimes against me. And so people are able to do whatever they want to me. They don't even have to have evidence. They sent me to prison by charging me with 4 misdemeanors. That's right, I was in 2 separate prisons on misdemeanors that I wasn't even convicted of. Everything has been done to try to threaten, harass, and intimidate me. To scare me into not turning in my fucking predators. And to scare others who tried to help me. There's a lady here, she was telling me that it sucks out here for men. She actually advocated for the men out here. She said, you know what, if I have a fucking mental breakdown in the care office, they'll bring out a counselor. If a man has a mental breakdown and does the same things that I do, they call the cops. She also complained about how the people here, how they won't listen to the males. How it's just running them through for the money. We know. That's why males are less likely to go to the cops. Dallas Richmond stated it himself perfectly. And it's on video on my YouTube channel, by the way. Him admitting that the reason he never called the cops is because he didn't want to be arrested. I admitted that I recorded it so he didn't have to worry. Yes, I have it recorded, the abuse and the throwing of things at him. Yes, it's recorded. Yes, he was the one abused. Here in the state of Oregon, we need to have a mandated reporter law like they have in Nebraska, where everyone is mandated. They can clear out that homeless camp in the Dalles, Oregon, quick, fast, and in a hurry. 3/4 of them people there will be picked up for taking part in the abuse against Jamie. That's just one person there. There's a lot of people who want to tell me, oh, I would have called the cops. They're mostly women. But then, of course, like that Deanna lady, I believe that's her name, Danita, that's what it was, wanted to call me a rat. A rat. She said she would have called the cops on that guy, and then she wanted to call me a rat. Wanted to blame me for the fact that, alright, so this lady that I took there, she really needed a ride. And it ended up being a fucking all-night thing. She just wanted to party. But the thing is that everyone at that property, it's, what is it, St. Vincent. The people that are there, they don't like the lady that I took. Now, it was inappropriate for them to be treating that woman the way that they did, regardless of whatever issues they have, that place can't be treated like it's a fucking prison yard. But yet that's what we got. Now that woman, regardless of past transgressions, did not show up there looking for a fight. She didn't show up there looking for trouble. Those people gave her trouble. And she did what I would expect any human to do. She stuck up for herself. Now the problem is there's people out here like Jamie who don't get to stick up for themselves. They're not allowed. When Danita asked me if I had asked Jamie before talking to the cops, I told her it didn't matter. And that's true. At that point, Jamie allowing those people to victimize her, those people are victimizing more than just her. It doesn't matter what Jamie wants at that point. She is not capable of making those decisions any longer. And yet they pretend like she does. Now sure, there's a human being left in there somewhere. But that's an awful lot of fucking abuse for a human being to have to go through. When I had to turn in crimes that were committed against me in Hood River, crimes that had already been committed against me by Hood River Police Department and Sheriff's Department, similar to the situation in Chapel, but the situation in Chapel, well, that could have saved lives if those cops would have done their jobs as mandated reporters. And if the cops here would do their jobs as mandated reporters, maybe we could save some lives here. But I doubt it. These people are too set in their ways. Just like you guys. You're too set in your ways. You don't care who dies. You just don't want the embarrassment. The embarrassment. With my dad, what matters to him? The embarrassment. With my older brother, what matters to him? The embarrassment. With my little sister, the embarrassment. With Natalie Bollinger, the embarrassment. It's not my fault that people did horrible shit to her. It's not my fault that those people were her own family. It's not my fault that I couldn't get heard. At least I tried. Which is more than I can say for any of these other dumb motherfuckers who wanted to pretend like they cared about me, wanted to pretend like they were my friends. At least I tried. But because you didn't, people died. And you want me to keep my mouth shut. You want to pretend like I'm a bad person for cursing. No, this is exactly the situation that you need to curse in. This is exactly the situation when you need to put emphasis on it so that it gets heard before people end up dead. When I went to my friends, they were too busy dispensing advice to hear what was going on. That's right, you got these pretty memes. And you spout those pretty memes while people are fucking dying. While your pretty memes following that advice is breaking the law, and still you want to push it. As if I should follow the pretty memes. Then when you break the law repeatedly, I'm to blame, aren't I? Now you're fine with playing along with the mentally ill thing. Before that, you'd tell me, oh, I don't understand how they can do that, Sean. I don't understand how they can do that. Well, they can do that because you never spoke up. Lucky for me, I recorded it. Made a Japanese bow. These were pretty cool. It took forever. I used to be able to whip one of them out in about 5 minutes. Sorry. It takes about 5 minutes now. I used to be able to do it in about 30 seconds. Not much to it, but I don't have the dexterity that I used to have. I had to lay it down and move it a little bit at a time until I got it to where I needed it. My electronics should be charged by now. You know, I was stalked and harassed by Natalie and her friends, and their evidence proves it. And so does mine. I was the one stalked. Natalie should not be fucking dead. All these people and places that I was told to go to for help, I went to them. I went to Nicole Gerald. I went to Darren O'Connor. I went to the officers that I was told to go to. I went to the departments I was told to go to. I followed the rules that you're taught as a kid in the system. And you know what? One of the most important ones is never trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. All these adults who didn't come forward, but they wanted me to keep secrets. Are you fucking kidding me? No, your secrets are out there for a reason. And thank you for having conversations with me where you admitted to that shit. I get that you want it off of YouTube. I get that you want the evidence of your wrongdoing off of Facebook, especially after you claim that I slandered you. And you want to say things like, oh, you never said that. Really, it's recorded. You fucking idiots. Now, with my dad, when I was in Virginia, my dad could have done something. When I was still in Virginia, I was still friends with Natalie Bollinger. When me and my dad stopped talking over him not willing to help out my older brother. Now, if he'd have decided for once that he was willing to try being a father and understand the things that he thought I should have and was angry at me because I didn't have them, is he helping me to get them? And in each of these places that I went for help, I got victimized by the police because I was alone and homeless. My dad, rather than listen to me, he wanted to be an abusive fucking asshole. I gotta do what he wants when he wants it. 2 of my recordings, he knew he was being recorded. And he had said some things that he knew to be untrue because he knew he was being recorded. And you ask me why I didn't tell people they were being recorded. Well, first of all, I let them all know I record everything. And I let them all know why. Because people will tell me one thing and then do another. Y'all want to hate on me for the decisions that I made. That's fine. But are you taking a look at the options that I had? Some of those options would have gotten people killed. Some of those options did. Yes, there are people who are dead because of my big mouth, but more so because none of you came forward to do anything to stop it. No matter how hard I tried, you want to look the other way and tell me to go to these services who you go in and you fill out the paperwork and they ignore everything that you're saying. They just want you to fill out the paperwork so they can bill the United States government for your tax dollars. These are your mandated reporters, folks. These are the agencies that you're sent to. Each and every one of them tells you that it's someone else's job. No, what these people did, they worked together to make these things happen for their own selfish means. And Polly Olson is sitting in jail because her involvement in those such and said selfish means. Jared Hahn is now a city council member in Chapel. Not okay. James Hammond ran against Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta. I don't know who won. I suppose I should get off of here and look at that. Scott DaCosta, I didn't talk to him or even know he existed. I knew somebody was sheriff, I just didn't know who it was. I didn't find out it was Scott DaCosta until after Natalie was dead. But he was the sheriff when the first situation in Chapel, Nebraska over Natalie Bollinger happened. Well, the first one that they had to take note of, they took me to the hospital in Sidney, Nebraska. I've gone to the hospital itself in person, and I have this recording to try to get my paperwork. But no, they still denied it. Thank goodness I recorded it, right? When they say that it's illegal to record in a hospital, it's not. It's illegal to record people's private information. As far as recording in a hospital, if you have reason to believe or suspect that that hospital or the staff within will commit a crime, then you absolutely have the right to record it. Thank goodness I recorded it. It's the crimes that were committed in other hospitals for the same exact reasons. Because cops, when you try to turn them in, will send you the officers that literally send the officers that you're trying to turn in to be the investigators. Such as Amanda Jonas, and of course, in Nebraska, Sergeant Jones. In Washington State, that would be Officer Schneider. In Rawlins, same thing. Moral of the story, don't try to turn in police. They'll lie to the hospitals, and the hospitals will do whatever the fucking cops ask. What do cops do? Number one, they either try to threaten, harass, or intimidate you, or they take you to a hospital. They don't need any fucking evidence to go lie to a hospital. And then, of course, you go to the hospital, and it's on your paperwork now. Whatever the cops told them, the cops say anything at all, and the hospital writes it down as if that cop knows. No, those cops that I was trying to turn in, do you think they told the hospital, hey, this guy's trying to turn us in? No, they went and fucking lied to that hospital and said that I was schizophrenic. What the fuck is that about? Now, as we have heard from people who are licensed to diagnose schizophrenia, a police officer cannot diagnose schizophrenia, especially a police officer like Scott DaCosta, who I am trying to turn in since 2018, by the way. Now, my question is, When Nebraska State Patrolman Bill Burr claimed that he turned in what I said, as well as where to find the evidence and my phone number, when he claimed that he turned that stuff in to Nebraska State Patrol, who are the names that he spouted at me? Sergeant Jones and Investigator Woods. Investigator Woods and Sergeant Jones, of course, it turned out, well, they didn't even bother to call me until after I had been assaulted by Scott DaCosta and Trooper Lassen. It's just assumed that because these are cops, because they have badges, they're telling the truth. No, Western Nebraska is crooked as fuck. That's what makes Amanda Daniels a bad parent. She dropped her at-risk daughter off in Western Nebraska knowing how crooked it is. And that is recorded. She was in Nebraska. She was aware of the abuse that I had endured. She did not try to turn it in. She's one of the people that needed to speak up because I was going to visit her on the trip to Virginia. Same thing with Sage. I was going to visit him as well. Same thing with Ed Simmons. Same thing with Brett Roloff. At least I recorded them admitting it. You guys want to pretend it was just about Natalie? It wasn't. It was about going and seeing my loved ones. And they couldn't even admit that. At least I recorded it. Natalie Bollinger is dead because I was not heard. Christine Buhit is dead because I was not heard. Anna Hunke is dead because I was not heard. There's a lot of people who are dead because I was not heard. Alcoholics and drug addicts pretended to hear me. Pretended that they would listen, but they never spoke up. My life is hell on earth. Constantly forced to move over and over and over because without someone who's willing to go in with me, when a crime fucking happens, I need to be able to call someone to go in with me. When it happens, you can see through my paperwork in the prisons how a person is treated when they try to turn in the crimes against them. How they are limited in what they're allowed access to. They are denied their legal rights. I was in prison on trumped up charges that they had to fucking drop because Scott DaCosta wanted to prevent me from showing evidence to Investigator Woods. That included turning in an illegal firearm that I was forced to build because Megan Missigatis would not do her job as a mandated fucking reporter. I needed help. Actual help. But you guys don't want to hear that. You want to tell me I just need to man up. I just need to do it myself. If you do it yourself, nothing happens. You fucking dolt. Natalie is dead because Joanna Taylor Smith didn't care to listen. She was too busy talking. Natalie Bollinger is dead because the cops in Dual County didn't want to listen. They were too busy talking. She is dead because Nicole Peralta didn't do her goddamn job. Because the Dual County Sheriff's Department did not do their goddamn job. Because the police in Virginia didn't do their goddamn job. When I tried to call to turn in the officers breaking my vehicle, I had a Honda Civic, different year, but it was a hatchback, just like this one. It was black. That was the one that was all fucked up. The one I got from David and Laura Nelson. The one that got stuck in the fucking road. There's a difference between getting stuck in the road and parking there. The officers fucking busted my vehicle all to shit. No fucking judge, no goddamn jury, just busted up my shit. And I was in the process of trying to turn that in. Natalie texted me, Natalie called me and she said that she loved me and that her family was afraid of me. And, you know, that was cue enough for me to fucking leave Virginia. Now, I'd been trying to turn in that officer, or those officers who had busted up my vehicle. But no, the lady on the phone wanted to fucking play like I was needing to turn in somebody who had busted my vehicle. I said, yes, one of the officers did this. The officers who towed my vehicle after saying that they wouldn't, the officers did this to my vehicle. Fuck, she was trying to play fucking stupid the whole time. Just like Leslie Snell's been doing. I have to be afraid for my actual family, for my little sister, and for my niece, because Leslie Snell is a fucking psychopath. Just like Amy Witcher's daughter, who drowned a dog for fun. Then again, when Andrew Witcher is your closest thing to a daddy figure and he's getting fucked up on meth and molesting you, and your mom is aware of it in the state of Nebraska and doing nothing, yeah, that would tend to fucking do it now, wouldn't it? Mark Richmond, he's another one of those fucking psychos. Wants to play it in the name of God after what he did to his own fucking... Jesus, fuck. She's got his same last name and everything. What a sick piece of shit. Of course, Rhonda, she ain't so good at picking the men. She picked Todd after that, another asswipe. Oh, we got to hear from at least 3 of the kids he helped to raise on what a great job he fucking did. The fiasco with Jamie. Shit, he got a settlement. He spent nearly all that money trying to impress Jamie so she'd put out. Todd Rust then goes and talks about Jesus. You guys got no idea the kind of family dynamics. For me, it's not defending myself against a predator. It's defending myself against a predator and their friends and family. And I can't even go to the fucking cops. I have to go in alone every fucking time, and you see how that works out. It results in more abuse, more false charges, more evidence being fucking stolen or destroyed. Natalie Bollinger is dead because of people like you. People who get onto my channel but never speak. Ever. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.